loves, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Rai and this is Rai's Reading Corner, and today I am bringing you all of this series that I still need to finish. So when it comes to series, I feel like I handle them in two different ways. Either one, I binge the entire series and have to buy like all the books right after I read the first one, or I read the first one and then put off reading it for quite some time and then don't remember what I read, and then I'm just like a whole downward spiral. So I have several series that I've started but haven't finished, and they are for various reasons. So I'm going to go over with you the series that I've started but haven't finished, and then kind of maybe like think about why I haven't finished them. And my hopes is that you will all be able to share with me which series I should prioritize. This is like the third installment of this series about series. I did one video about series that I still need to read that are BookTube's favorites, and then I did another video talking about series recommendations. So this is the last one in this kind of like series, and I'm going to be talking about all the ones that I still need to finish. So the first series I still need to finish is So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmeter. I do have the second one of the series. I am in the beginning of reading it. I needed to take a break from reading fantasy because I've been reading a lot of it. So I am currently sort of starting the second book. I'm very early in it. But if you're not familiar, this is like a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I thought it started off kind of slow, but I definitely fell in love with it as I continued reading it. I believe this was a 4-star read for me. So I am excited to read the second one. So there's really no reason why I haven't read it, just that I needed a little break from fantasy. And I just read this last month, so, I lied. I read it this month, beginning of this month. So it's a very new series. So I haven't really not read it for that long. All right, the next series I need to finish is a young adult mystery series, and it is a truly devious series. So this is about this academy that is really like top-notch academy. It's like certain type of kids can go to it, but they have to have like some certain like really skill or something that they're really good in, and they're allowed to go for free. So our main character here is really interested in the mystery of the murder and disappearance of the academy's originator of this, like the founder's wife, daughter, and a student. So she goes there to investigate it. So throughout this book, I did enjoy it. My favorite parts were when we got the flashbacks to what was going on actually at the time when the people disappeared. But I was kind of on the fence throughout the entire of it. I didn't know if I really loved it or if I just kind of liked it. However, the ending killed it for me. I hated the ending. It's probably the most disappointing ending I've ever read. It was so anticlimactic, and it was not what I was hoping for. So I think that's why I haven't picked up The Vanishing Star by Maureen Johnson again. This is the sequel to this one. Just because the ending just really put me off on this series. But I do want to get to it a lot. I've heard a lot of people say The Vanishing Star is better than this one. But if you read this series, let me know if I should continue reading it, or is it if it goes the same way as it did for this ending, then I don't want to read it. But if it is a good book, then please let me know. All right, the next series I need to finish is the Illuminae series. I actually do own the books for this one. I read Illuminae this month, so it's not a series that I've been putting off for a very long time. I read it at the beginning of the month, and then I read Midnight Sun, and I went into a reading slump, and I think that's just why I haven't picked up Gemini or Acidio yet. But they are books that I really want to get to. Even though they are very long, it doesn't take necessarily that long to read because they are in multimedia. But this surprised me how much I liked it, being a science fiction-y type book with artificial intelligence. This was a 5-star read for me. So it's definitely a series that I want to read, and I'm not putting it off because I just don't want to read it. It's just that I've been kind of in a reading slump, but I am really excited. I'm hoping to get at least one of them done next month. All right, the next series that I still need to finish is the Girls of Paper and Fire series, and the next one in that one is the Girls of Storm and Shadow. I loved Girls of Paper and Fire. I read this book so quickly. It is a full fantasy book, definitely a high fantasy, which is something that haven't really read much of, but the world building in this book was so phenomenal. So I loved this book so much that I went right out and bought the sequel of this one. This is a 2020 release, I think, and the inside book of the cover is so absolutely beautiful. So I wanted to have that copy. However, everybody tells me this book is so bad that it falls flat, and it's definitely like a connector book, they think, to like the third book. So I haven't read it yet, and I would love to read it, but I haven't prioritized it because I've heard it's so bad. But I would like to eventually read the third book when that one comes out, so I've got to just suck it up and read it. And it's not like it's a super short book. I mean, it's not super long, but it's still it's over 350 pages, so it's still a long book to read. I know that's not going to be that good, and I think the fact that this book was so good that it made this one seem even worse, because this one was just such a good book. I absolutely love this story, so I just need to suck it up and I need to read this one. But I'm thinking that I'm gonna wait until the third book comes out so I can read it right then, and then just go right into the third book as kind of like motivation to read the rest of the series. So yep, haven't finished that one yet. All right, the next series that I still need to finish is the Darkest Mind series. So I read this originally maybe like a year or two ago, and I absolutely loved it. And I read, I think, at the end of the summer, so I'm a teacher, so school started back up, and I just didn't have time to pick up the sequel of it. Got the sequel for Christmas. I've been trying to read it, but I'm really struggling, and I don't know if it's because I just don't remember the first book, or it's just I just don't like the book in general. So I have recently purchased The Darkest Mind, which is the first one in the series, so I can reread this one, and then I can go back and hopefully try the second one. If you're not familiar with this series, it's about a civilization where they have a pandemic or like an outbreak, and it affects people certain ways. Like some people die from it, but others get like these special powers, and it's like crazy stuff. And then they're like classified at like different levels, like on how severe their powers are, and they're like sent to like camps, and they're treated like inmates at a camp. It's really crazy, and then it goes into more stuff like that. But it's a really good book, and I really did enjoy the first book. Like I said, I absolutely loved it, so I'm looking to start the first one again and then reread the second one, and hopefully just kind of get myself through it again, and hopefully I fall in love with it as much as I did the first time I read it. All right, the next series that I need to continue and finish reading is Sabrina, the Season of the Witch, and this is inspired by the actual Netflix original series, and it's by Sarah Reese Brennan. This was a really fun read. It's not like the best read obviously I've ever read in my entire life, but it was really fun. It was really spooky, and what I even like more about this is it has like the traditional white pages, and then you get like this third person narrative, and it's like in the black paper, and it like alternates between the two of them. So that was really cool. If you're not familiar with Sabrina, she is a teenage witch, and she is living in the mortal world because she is half human as well, and trying to balance that between wanting to have that normal teenage life but also being a witch and coming from a pretty powerful witch line. This was, like I said, a really fun series. I'm thinking about picking up the next one for one of the spooky readathons that are going to be coming up in the next couple months. So yeah, I'm really excited to continue with this series. And of course it's going to start pouring again because that's just what it does where I live. All right, the next one I need to continue. I don't know if I'm going to though, because I've heard so many poor things about the next couple books, is the 100 series by Cass Morgan. So if you haven't read about this or heard about this show or the books, it's about a group of teenagers that get picked to go down to see how Earth has been over so many years, because there was like radiation and ruined the Earth, and so everyone had to go live in like spaceship type things up in outer space, and they choose these teens who have gotten in trouble for like, they're supposed to have been in trouble, but they're really like kind of dumb things that they've gotten. So some of them, and they put them down there to see what happens if they die or if they live, and they have to go down there, and they're trying to survive as teenagers in a land that they are not familiar with, they've never been a part of, but also has definitely many effects from the radiation that had hit Earth. This was an okay read for me. I absolutely loved the series, so I really wanted to read this one. However, the 100, the day 21, I believe Bree from Coffee, Books, and Bullet Journals read it, and she suffered to get through it. It was so bad, she said. So I don't really know if I'm really going to finish this series, but it's definitely a series that I have started and haven't finished. I figured I would include it in this video. All right, the next one I have here is a series that originally was done, but they decided to release a prequel this year, and I bought it at the beginning, and I just haven't picked it up because I've just not heard good things about it. And it is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. Let me just say, at Target they have so many copies of this book, they can't move them, like it's kind of sad. So I got this book because obviously I am a Hunger Games fan. I talk about it in one of my recommendations for series. I feel like it's The Hunger Games itself is one of those series that can withstand the time. However, I just haven't gotten to this book. Like, it is a chunker of a book and it's definitely a dedication to it, and I just haven't heard many good things about this book. So if you think I should read this, please let me know. I feel like I should just do it because it's part of the Hunger Games, trilogy, but I have been putting it off just because I haven't heard many good things about it, and I think that's why it's still in my pile of unread series books. So let me know. And the last one is another book that I read the series when I was maybe younger, like maybe high school or even maybe college, and I really, really liked the series, but then this book came out a little bit later and I just haven't read it yet, and it is The Fever Code by James Dashner. It is part of the Maze Runner series. It's book 5, and it's actually talking about how the maze was created. So yeah, it sounds super interesting to me. I just haven't picked it up because I feel like it's been so long since I've read the Maze Runner series, and then I got this one and then it kind of just was like, I don't know if I really fell into reading it. But if all you tell me that it's definitely a good read and it's definitely not a flop like some of these other books that I've been talking about in like other series, please let me know and I will prioritize this and read this. I do have some TBR games coming up, which I will be posting soon, where some of those prompts are to finish a series. So if I land on one, let me know if this should be one that I should be prioritizing for some of those different reading prompts. So that's quite a few series that I have started and have not finished, but it's not too bad. So let me know which of these series I should prioritize to finish first. Some of them I'm definitely close to finishing, and some of them I have quite a ways to still go, but please let me know. If you are new to my channel and you'd like to take this journey with me, press that subscribe button. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and if you never want to miss any of my content, hit that alert button. Also, if you would like to be friends on any of other social media platforms, all that information is down below. And yeah, so stay kind, loves, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Special, pretty up from the minute that I met you.